Did you see that basketball game last night? Yeah, man. Those shoes Derrick Rose and Dwight Howard were wearing were sick. I probably need to get me a pair of those. Who makes those anyways? I think Nike makes them. No, man. Those are Adidas shoes. They wouldn't be the best players in the league if they were wearing Nike shoes. Like, come on, man. That's crazy. As Americans, we like to follow and imitate what our favorite heroes in sports do. Whether that be football, basketball, tennis, cycling, or even gymnastics. Now, as long as I can remember, Nike has been the #1 sporting company in the world for years. Everybody remembers when Mia Hamm took her shirt off. Nike was all over that. There had to be at least 15 commercials, and if I went one day without hearing "just do it" 10 times, something was wrong. So, since Nike has had a stranglehold on the sporting industry, it's been very hard for other companies to come up. Well, over the last 10 years, Adidas has quietly started to make a very big impact in the sporting world. They're tired of being the little brother, and they're ready to come out. So today, I'm going to convince you to buy and wear Adidas footwear and apparel. So how did Adidas start? Now, there are some red flags when I tell you that the original founder of Adidas was part of the Nazi regime. But let me explain that a little bit. Originally, there was two brothers, Adolf and Rudolf. They were both part of the Nazi regime. Now, they were going to form a company together, but they split because it turned out Rudolf really did support the Nazi regime, and Adolf, he didn't really support it, but he knew he had to be a part of it. So, Rudolf went off and formed Puma. Puma. Yeah, we can see who won this one. And Adolf, he formed Adidas. Now, let's talk a little bit about Adidas' first sponsor. The first athlete that Adidas sponsored, and this is pretty big, was Jesse Owens, the United States sprinter, the United States African American sprinter in the 1936 Olympics. This was just like a slap in Hitler's face, really. It honestly was just a slap in his face. And not only did Jesse Owens win, but this was the first endorsement of an African American athlete, period. So, now that you know a little bit about that, let me also say that Adidas, it is the biggest sporting industry company in Europe and the second in the world only to Nike, but I don't foresee that being that way too long. So now that I've told you a little bit about the facts and how Adidas started, let's talk about some of their superior products and how they continue to strive to better their products. So the first product I'm going to show you is the Adidas basketball shoe, the Crazy Light. Just like the name, these are the lightest basketball shoes ever made. You see these little mesh things right here? This is called Sprint Web technology. It provides better airflow to the shoe and reduces some of the weight that the shoe normally would have. Now, when I say it's a light shoe, you probably think that, hey, it's not very stable. It's not for a bigger person. It's for a lighter person, a more athletic person. But actually, anybody can wear these. As you can see, they're high top. Now, these just don't fold under pressure. They just don't fold under pressure. They're very stiff, but not too stiff that you can't make your cuts or do that sit crossover that you've been practicing in the garage or some chairs. You should probably go practice that on real people. In addition to this, they have a sole in here. Now, if you think about the sole of the shoe, you're probably like, "Oh, look how thin that thing is. It's not gonna hold anybody up." But this sole is actually very, very shock absorbent. This is a new technology that Adidas is really, really trying to use. So the next product I'm going to show you is the Adidas running shoe called the Sequence. This is easily the best running shoe I have ever owned. It's a shoe built for somebody who needs more support. Now, when I say more support, you probably think bulky or heavy. This is actually a very, very light running shoe. And despite that it has a very, very thick padding that provides very good support, it's not heavy. It's a very, very nice shoe. And it is easily, as I said, the best running shoe I have ever owned. Now, just to show you one more shoe, and I'm not going to talk about this one too much, but this is comparable to Nike's old school Dunks. This is a nice shoe. It's a casual shoe that isn't bulky like Nike's shoe. Yes, it's a high top shoe, but it's very sleek and easily wearable with anything that you would like to wear. So, now that I've showed you some of Adidas products, let's talk about how they're involved in the world and the everyday life of people. Adidas likes to sponsor some of the biggest events in the world, such as the Euros, which just ended today and Spain won, by the way, the NBA All-Star Game, the Super Bowl, and the French Open. But like I said, not only do they sponsor some of the biggest sporting events, they like to sponsor us, the average everyday person. They have a scholarship program called Earn Your Stripes. During this program, they give scholarships to high school seniors who show very big involvement in community service. They excel in academics and they excel in athletics. So you're like, okay, scholarships. Anybody can give out a scholarship. But when you think of some other companies, they're not so big in different parts of the world other than Europe and the United States, which is the two main places that Adidas is really big. But they go out of their way. They are actually a sponsor in the Japan Special Olympics, which is way out there. That's not something you would probably think, hey, Adidas is a part of that, or anybody is a part of that, to be quite honest. So today, I've told you why you should buy and wear Adidas footwear and apparel. It's obvious that Adidas cares about the customer who's going to wear their product. They're not just going to put some flashy thing out there that, hey, it may look cool, but it's going to end up hurting you in the long run. They're going to put something on your feet or on your back that's going to help you. It's going to improve whatever you're trying to do, and it's going to help you compete at the highest level. So, just like their motto, impossible is nothing.